Hi, my name is Lisa Bird, and I want to share my learnings from my Lean Sandwich Shop case study. There's 5 phases: define, measure, analyze, improve, control, that I would like to take you through. The first phase, define. The purpose is to express the problem. In order to do that, I needed to consider the existing data, which included, we have a daily volume of 600 sandwiches, an annual volume of 218,400 sandwiches, 12 employees, and a cycle time to make the sandwich from start to finish of 600 seconds. The existing process has 7 steps. What we'll be doing is looking to improve, eliminate waste, and become more efficient in these steps. I utilize the voice the customer matrix to understand what the customer's requirements were with our business functions. This tool helped me to document those customer priorities and measure them against the different aspects of the Lean Sandwich Shop. I also considered what my assumptions and constraints included. Assumptions and constraints need to be identified, controlled, and monitored. Some assumptions are ordering to completion task time, the toaster being in good working order, and the ability to hire needed staff. These assumptions do create risk if I'm wrong on what I'm assuming. And then my constraint examples are customer demand and workspace. Next, I did a cost of poor quality analysis where I looked at my different costs that are associated with the problem and focused on turning these into metrics. Some examples of hard costs included internal failures such as delays and failed inspections. External failure example is duplicated work. Appraisal cost examples are inspections and audits. And then prevention costs examples would be quality training. My problem statement is the Lean Sandwich Shop has scrapped 10% of our sandwiches over the past 12 months, costing us $110,000 in extra labor and scrap material. My related goal statement is I want to reduce that scrap rate from 10% down to 2%, which would give me an $88,000 annualized savings. This brings me to our second phase of measure with the purpose of quantifying that problem. I paused and reminded myself of the questions I'm wanting to address. How do I measure the problem? When and where will that data come from? Does the data represent what you think it does? How does the process currently behave? And what's the current performance of the process? In doing that, I started with a critical to quality tree. I prefer these critical to quality trees because it helps me to link the information that's critical for customer requirements to actual measurements, and it clarifies and focuses what those customer requirements are and shows me a pathway to develop specifications so that I can meet those higher customer satisfactions. Next, I looked at what my KPIs and metrics should be. Takt time, 60 seconds. My TPH, which is throughput per labor hour, of 5. The takt time is a key element to creating flow, and the TPH utilizes our most significant cost constraint, which in this situation included labor, to measure the efficiency of the process. Other tools that I used was data collection, plan, value stream map, and spaghetti diagram. I do want to focus for a minute on the value stream map. That was very useful because it gave me a high level visual way to view the process and helped me to identify the flow and source of waste. The spaghetti diagram did the same, where it helped me to identify that waste in motion and the excess processing. This brings me to my third phase of analyze, with the purpose of identifying the cause of the problem. I utilized a work balance chart in this phase. It's a bar chart that helps me to visualize that waste and identify opportunities to create flow. I also created a work combination chart to further visualize that relationship and flow between manual work that humans are doing and the machine cycle time, which you can see here with the toaster. Placing in the toaster the setup and the unloading. Within our flow, there was a lot of wasted time. Finally, the Pareto analysis showed me that 53.8% of the complaints came from two things: cold sandwiches and the wrong dressing, mustard versus mayonnaise. The Pareto analysis helped me to analyze that attribute data. It's another bar graph. This time, it's arranged with the longest bars on the left and the shortest on the right, so I can visually depict which situations are more significant. And at this point, I paused to come back to write my goal of preparing a solution to correct our problems. And I'm also looking at reducing that process cycle time and addressing the machine constraints such as the toaster. This brings me to the fourth phase of improve, with the purpose of solving the root cause and verifying the information. In this phase, I'm using the Plan, Do, Check, Act. I want to highlight one specific action here, and that was utilizing the matrix of assessment criteria, where I have 4 quadrants, and I am within those quadrants categorizing possible solutions and their potential impact on the business and the costs needed for implementation. So within this, quadrant 1 solutions is where I focus, where I can have the highest impact with the lowest cost. And then I did not continue with quadrant 4, which had low impact and high cost. This is a great moment to pause for a poka-yoke. We should see these anytime we can. It's the concept of mistake proofing by avoiding errors. The heat lamp is a great poka-yoke moment because we can keep those sandwiches warm. If you remember in the Pareto analysis, our number 1 defect were cold sandwiches. So the heat lamp will help us keep those sandwiches warm until the customer is ready to pick up and consume their sandwich. The result is I improved my TPH to a 5.45 and an annual savings, not quite $88,000, but still $54,099. I did this by looking at my flow and focusing on waste. As you can see, I went from 4 stations to 3, and I went to 3 stations and significantly cut down wasted time by eliminating individuals just focused on toasting the sandwiches. Finally, I entered the control phase, where my purpose is to maintain the gains and pursue further excellence. I utilized a versatility training matrix, which helped me to support 2 of the stability building principles, that people are our greatest assets and that we need standardized work. The versatility training metrics demonstrates care for people by investing in a thorough training, and then also completing the process training and people training. Finally, I utilized in this control phase the 5x5x5 audit with a goal of 1 audit a day. This includes 5 minutes of observing, followed by 5 minutes of coaching, followed by 5 minutes of follow-up observation and coaching, at least 2 hours after the first. This is not intended for disciplinary action. Instead, the purpose that I use this is to help people improve in their job, and for me to offer genuine feedback, so that we can help build more trust between managers and team members. In conclusion, I'd like to share my final thoughts. Using these Lean Six Sigma tools and principles streamline the process, resulting in improved customer experience and increased loyalty. It helped me develop the process flows and provide for better efficiency and cost savings. And the tools used moved the Lean Sandwich Shop from defect detection, so where they were reacting, to defect prevention, which helped me to reduce the cost and remove waste. Thank you for listening. I hope you found this valuable and are able to use Lean Six Sigma tools to help you with prevention, eliminating waste, and becoming more efficient.